So I'm in our hotel at the moment, and we're actually changing, or we're replacing our manager on the ground guy or gal. We haven't found the replacement just yet for this hotel. And one of the things that we like to do is understand what we are asking somebody else to do. And whilst we're here in Plymouth at our apartment hotel, we got the fire people in to service all of the fire alarm system and call points, etc., but also show us what to do for the weekly testing, because this fire alarm system, I'll just flip the camera around for you. This fire alarm system, it needs to be checked every single week by the manager. Now, the thing that we've discovered is that it's not been getting checked every single week. So the actual fire alarm system registers that it's being checked every single week. Now, that's useful to know, because when we put a new person in place to take over these checks, we're going to make sure that they know that we can check to make sure that the fire alarm's been tested every single week. So what you've got to do is literally these call points here, you've got to basically spin this camera back around. You've got to set off the fire alarm at each call point and make sure that the call points are actually setting off the fire alarm system, and then back to the control panel you silence it again, and you're supposed to check each call point or a call point weekly. So there's 8 call points in this hotel, and so it's an 8-week cycle back to the first call point again, and that's got to be done weekly. And the control panel actually tells whoever checks that check has been taking place. So that's obviously quite useful to know. And if you've got a hotel, you're going to have a proper fire alarm system like the one I've just shown you. Now, for most people who are doing serviced accommodation in apartments and houses, things have changed as well, and there are new regulations in place for fire safety. And when it's too much for me to talk about now, on my training courses, I cover what people need to now know and do when it comes to fire safety in serviced accommodation. But ultimately, you still got to do a fire risk assessment, but there's certain properties and certain circumstances where the advice is you get a professional fire safety person in to do the risk assessment and recommend what changes need to be put in place in order to make the place safe for guests. So my view on this is actually a good thing, because there's an awful lot. I don't know if you've ever stayed in service accommodation properties yourself that are a little bit below standard. I think this is going to raise standards in serviced accommodation, and it's going to get rid of some of the cowboy operators who literally should not be open. And so what's probably going to happen is there's going to be registration in England and Wales. There's licensing in Scotland, but registration to do service accommodation in England and Wales, and you might have to provide evidence that you've gone through the proper fire safety guidelines. Now that's good in that it's going to get rid of a lot of people that literally are not going to be able to meet the standards required of serviced accommodation. So I do cover this stuff on my training courses. It's a little bit boring, but it's necessary, and you need to know it in order to do serviced accommodation. So it's good for safety of guests, and it's good for the fact that it's going to get rid of competition, because there are actually quite a few properties out there that the operators would have to spend probably too much money to make them safe. And then some people are just going to decide, you know what, I'm not going to do service accommodation anymore. And then that creates more demand for SA, because there's less supply. And when there's more demand for something, the price of that thing goes up. So all good. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys whilst I'm in Plymouth, having a look at my fire alarm system in our hotel. And just for those of you that don't know, you might want to research new fire safety regulations for service accommodation in England and Wales, and there's actually licensing in Scotland. So hopefully that was useful, everybody. Here's to your success in service accommodation. Remember, your future needs you. Take care.